From what from our practice understand,
Yes.
the issue with our system is one sincerity of purpose from the government and even from the citizens.
Okay.
Now, when the government said, okay, we know this problem, even the woman in my village know that they have a problem because the only river that connects my village to the is dry and no water. She has to trek about 5 kilometers to get water. She knows something is wrong on the ground, and you need a solution. You talk about billions of naira, you talk about money, yeah, budget are there, budget and come back to some extent to this issue of climate change. But how are we utilizing the funds? Now, look at the COP28. If you are now, we know, those of us under that, we know the fight between civil society and others for who to be there and who not to be there. Not because of the purpose to serve man on the one guy, just because of the benefit. And that is why when they went there from my own investigation, from people who report back to me, Nigeria pavilion become a kind of a jamboree where you just go evening and enjoy yourself and just talk. When other countries are trying to key into the donors, we know that the first day about $584 were committed, or donated, not even committed to the climate fund. And at the end, about how many billions were realized from there? Nigeria did not even make ways how to get from it. Other countries in Africa were pushing out, and they have been on the cadre. We are now in the lower part of the cadre, and the problem does affect us. So the sincerity of purpose, both from the leaders, we need to be more sincere about this purpose. It's not enough saying, okay, we have budget for this purpose, we have budget for that, and you utilizing that budget. If you have budget ending up for that purpose, then to you citizens. If this money gets to you through the civil society, are they actually fighting for you for the purpose with that money used to be insurance?
Yeah.
Or is it being going to be diverted to another purpose? All of us we need to be addressed in this problem, even the media.
That's why we're here to make it right. I mean, for conclusion, I was so mad when I saw a certain celebrity came on the internet and said, I am the item 7 of COP28.
I said that's not,
She said, I am the item 7
second
of COP28.
People are crying now.
You don't understand what that means? She's the icing on the cake for the people who went to COP28. Do you know what? With our money,
Oh yes.
money, you transported item 7 in human form and took to COP28.
Wow. Well,
And she stayed there for days and came back. What is her contribution there and now?
when Shola is there,
Emotional balance for attendees.
You are even talking about, somebody was telling me in the trade that he was supposed to travel with his boss for a conference, but instead the boss went with the driver. What has the driver contributed to what we were going to discuss now?
Well, that's not let's give you 1 minute so that we can round up with the slide.
Okay, yes,
My time is
I will not forget with the book is there. That's why it's on.
I don't want to say that everybody is guilty because the awareness to some extent is there. Everybody knows that okay, we are not supposed to penetrate, we are not supposed to fetch firewood from the bush.
Let me ask you, sorry. You say everybody knows. Are we sure of that?
Yes, everybody
The
knows.
woman in the village that you're saying should not penetrate for firewood. What we should use?
They know, but there's no strict law to compel them not to.
Alternative or available alternative.
Who is implementing it?
Yeah.
Who is implementing
That
that?
is how I'm coming to that. That's why I said everybody is guilty one way or the other. And even the Lagos part of Kaduna, every day you see police on the road in front of their station. Then there is this armor tank that was brought to provide security for countries to develop the area which to have internet. So they also formed their own checkpoints. Matter of is 500 meters away from the original belief. So they are checkpoint and checkpoint that. So when it is 5 p.m., you see people loading charcoal, firewood, and they pass through the police. All they need to do is give 200 naira. Yes. Yes.
Meanwhile, there's a law banning it in Kaduna State.
So now the police are aware that this thing is not supposed to go. So once they see that, okay, they are saying this will be, so they will collect 200 naira and the man will pass. And he knows that okay, it's not 200 naira, it's coming back tomorrow. But the government side, okay, there was a time that the government within 5 kgs a leader for every home up to now. That has not been done. The only gas station that is serving the university has been down for more than 5 months now. And there was supposed to be another one, but it was killed politically. So a woman that is in the Lagos City, that is an average person that managed to get 5 kgs a leader, now we have to travel to the town.
Well, now it's 1,000.
So that is the thing.
And you know the funny thing about this thing is, if they now put a fine and say anybody found with charcoal and firewood will pay 10,000 naira, these people will find 10,000 naira to pay. And they inflate
Yes.
charcoal and firewood.
And people will still buy.
God amazing.
I think we need plenty of behavioral change.
How about saying yes, I'm going to take you as the last one.
Let me inform you about the even this banditry. This defeated governorship, this Ashok, was trying to take ransom. A prominent PDP man was kidnapped. So he said, okay, since he's known and they know him very well, let it, so that there will not be two victims. He said he's taking the ransom himself. After passing the checkpoint at after Kachia, he saw the military there. Where he was saying he just in the deliberate message. Okay, say, he passed them. Then he saw the bandits, they came out to collect ransom. He said, the police are making, they say, okay, if you don't want to give us ransom, go and give the policeman. We'll go and collect it from the policeman. So you can see the kind of conspiracy. It has transcended beyond charcoal. It has gone beyond it. It has come to even human beings. So it's so sad. The conspiracy.
It is so sad. But the good news is, and we would not want to dwell on the negativities, because it's going to dampen our spirit.
Definitely.
It would cause us not to do anything. Because if we do anything, what will happen? When you can do something. You know, Shola spoke about what did they do after they came from COP28, and they did not do anything. We didn't hear anything. But you, what would you do? Now you have the platform in your hands. I mean, it's just for our broadcast media in Kaduna State to take up a climate change campaign, to say, maybe don't call it climate change, call it felling of trees, drought, flooding, blah, 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 blah. This is what it results to. Mama, you know why you're beginning to sick? Now, because that water when you gather for that gutter, don't breathe this thing, and it is called climate change. Sooner or later, with SBCT, that's social behavioral change and communication, it begins to sink into their minds. Tomorrow, when Mama and her neighbor are speaking about it, they send it on radio, oh, didn't you read the news? For those who are on the internet, for those who are on TV. So we could take it as our corporate social responsibility to begin to create this awareness. We could take it as a platform, as media working group, and visit the governor and say, Governor, what are you doing? Commissioner, what are you doing? This could be things we can start implementing or putting in place. We could say, oh, I'm going to do a report once in a quarter as regards climate change, or maybe every month, depending on how frequent you have climate change issues. Because if we do not spread the word, nobody will know. And if we spread the word, we need to give them ideas on what to do. Because sincerely, some of them are just very ignorant. A governor, a commissioner who is living in his AC car, in his AC this, in his AC everything, he will not be talking about firewood and charcoal. It's because you're on the ground to know that there's charcoal and firewood. I'm telling you the truth. I was just reminiscing a few days ago. I passed somewhere and I perceived something. I've not perceived that thing in a long while, except when I was a little girl. And it was in an Indian woman's house. She was my mom's friend at the time. And I perceived it. So when I passed and I perceived it again, I'm like, I know this sense. But as at the time, they were already using gas. When I was 8, they were using gas. We were using kerosene stove. They were already using gas as at the time. So as at that time, if you had told me about gas, I probably wouldn't know because my immediate environment had not given me the gas. What I'm totally have been ignorant of what gas is. But I knew that they were using one long bottle, to cook with gas and all that, and they were the elite at the time. So what are we going to do? This sustainable development, forget that it has development and sustainability in it. It is you. It is me. We're doing our own bits now to get the awareness because we know you can. I first started this training and commending Kaduna State Media Working Group. You people do a lot. I am on that group and you people are nearly blending in with the news. So don't think I don't open it. I see it. And then I begin to ask myself, if you have this much power, then we have to use it somehow, some way. Even if they give you problems, they will stitch you. All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
No, okay, by way of rounding up.
Yes.
Yesterday when you talked about the state, media working, some of us were looking at each other because, like you said, sometimes we don't have to wait until it's coming to frustrate the children or so. As we see stories somewhere, we pick it up. Farouk is not here. I think some of us are also guilty of also not sharing our report on that platform, and we're just discussing with them that with what we did with the social protection, I think with the climate change, we can also do the same. But we do more than that even. Because my colleagues are here. And not to be fair, not because we are all here. There are times we pick issues and we crowd reports, and we know the impacts we make. We are here because of the passion we have for some of these things. There are some of us that maybe in the last, maybe we'll be making 200,000-300,000 if you have not been here. This last 3, 4, 5 days, for instance. But that sacrifice to be here to do that. Again, another thing is, for most of us who are here, even at who is the government house? Okay, let's say. Okay. Who is in government house? When we did social protection, there was a day they were supposed to talk about social protection. Even those in government house, you have to stand up to talk about social protection. And it's like,
Experts.
yes, and he became an expert in that place. So that passion is not about 1,000, 2,000, and all no sacrifice. But I'm sure this is something that, when we meet like this, I always say it's just like a refresher course.
Yes.
Sometimes there are things you forgot, kind of forgot it. But I'm sure in the next few months, you would definitely see it.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, let me share my experience with you. When the Kaduna government actually it bans the charcoal and cutting of firewood. Yes, I did a report because the problem has been enforcement by the security agencies. And then in the report, I found out that almost 80% of the bread bakeries in Kaduna, they use this charcoal, they use this firewood. So it's not only the woman in the village that is the couple of cutting down the trees. But almost 90% of the bread bakeries in Kaduna, they use this firewood. They go out of their way to bribe the DPOs in the various, particularly in the they give them very big amount of money. The DPO, sometimes these local vigilante people, including the local government chairman, is aware. They will give, because if a fork of firewood cost you almost 800,000 naira, and then you will be given the bribe of almost 400 or 500,000 naira before it will get to your factory. Then there was even a strike by the Bakery Association, Kaduna Bread Bakeries, that they are going to increase the price of bread because of that same issue, because of the cost of the firewood. So I think the major issue is enforcement.
Yeah.
Particularly from the government. And then the security agencies and the businesses who are really considering You get some. So,
But I think the major issue is enforcement. But let me add a word. Sincere enforcement. Sincere enforcement. Because the people they are bribing are the ones who are supposed to enforce.
But the thing is, let me quickly add this. Why talking about enforcement too? Like that behavioral change and communication that we're talking about is even paramount. Because if the end user knows that it does not need this, you just bring your firewood and charcoal, nobody will buy. The business wouldn't be lucrative again because as it is now, firewood and charcoal, I would say, are more expensive than gas. So why?
Now, let me show you. Kafanchan, which is like what Kaduna is to Kaduna Central Zone now, has just one gas plant. So that means in about 6 local governments, there's no even gas plant where you can refill gas.
Okay, so 1 minute, 1 minute.
So,
On the lighter mode, let's get it.
Before I have a governor in one of the communities in Benue City. There was a mango tree, a very big one. Because sometimes you take time for visiting your property. So when I went there, my surprise, so cut down.
And it's on your lap.
Just like what you have mentioned from.
Yes. Those two.
I called the person in charge of that place. I said, what is happening to this mango? Where is my mango? They said, I told you we don't want it. So we are telling you to clear the place. And they sold that mango tree.
Yeah. So over 300,000 or 400,000.
They sold it.
They sold it.
They sell mango trees.
Yes. No, they don't it to my the money is to dig a very big hole.
Yes.
And put all the trees, fire.
And bring it to firewood. And to charcoal.
Yes, charcoal, yes. By next morning.
That's another carbon dioxide going on.
When there is blood or any disaster, they can easily come to provide support to the victims of that. In Nigeria now, it doesn't become like a tradition. Now every year there was floods during rainy season. Every year, almost most of the northern states and so the eastern part of the country. So now, is there any measures that government can take, for just such floods instead of spending huge amount of money giving people support, something that cannot last for them just for 2 weeks, instead to use that money? And I think if there's a way government can tackle that kind of disaster, it's one way for journalists to pay attention, in creative or bring the attention of government to take that measures of total control than using NEMA or SEMA to spread
Okay. One house, I'm collecting back my session. Thank you very much. That's right. A round of applause for yourself. I jacked my session. Okay. But to that's why you need to look into things. You need to research. You need to do investigation to see what the government can do. In Borno State, the drainage system there is very bad. No drainage at all. So when I come out from my house and it rains really heavily, it's a tarred road. My gates to the road is tarred.
Don't generalize this.
Okay. I'm just going to do some parts. Okay, let's do some parts of even though the governor is working now, I must give it to him. I'm trying to create this drainage. But when you come, it's a flat land. How come water is gathering? And there's a third road. Water has gathered there. So imagine if there were good drainages around there where the water has been coming, it's flowing out. We wouldn't be having some, village areas for mosquitoes and the like. Anyways, we've almost done everything regarding mitigation, adaptation, spoken about it, and all that. So mitigation is making the impact of climate change less severe by preventing or reducing the emission of greenhouse gases. What's that? Okay. And then adaptation is the process of adjusting to current and future effects of climate change. When we use these bottles, all of us used it yesterday and dumped it. What is the end product of this bottle that has been used? Well, stop drainage. Mama Kunu will use it for Kunu, and then she will now finish drinking. You will drink the Kunu. She will now give it to her back. She will wash it and use it again. The day the thing has died, she will throw it away and it will still go back to the earth. So we need to begin to change behavior, food wastage. Let's teach our children not to waste food, as it were. So why should we be worried? A report released by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change in 2018 says the report details a set of possible scenarios for increases in global temperature based on carbon emissions and projections. A lot of us are guilty of carbon emissions. You want to go from here to the shop at the junction, you enter your car. We should practice walking as well. The biggest takeaway, we have 12 years to act on climate issues to prevent global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius. A benchmark which scientists believe will set in motion a cascade of irreversible climate impacts. And like he said, he said something regarding the fact that, it was in my head now. Yes, if we do not act within the time frame, that's what we said, it will be disastrous and the impact will not be felt when we are acting outside it. Because I mean, things we have evolved at this point. Why is climate change political? Efforts to mitigate have been prominent since the 1990s. Yeah. Now, the politics of climate change result from different perspectives on how to respond, to climate change. Like we're speaking about sustainable development and now awareness. We're speaking about budgeting for climate change, even though the budgets are there. Speaking about following the money. What do we do with this money at the end of the day? I'm just going to rush through because our time is almost up. Political dimensions. In the 21st century, there has been increased attention to mechanisms like climate finance for vulnerable nations to adapt to climate change. I hope that Nigeria doesn't invest in her own part of the money, which is usually what they do. A commitment to provide $100 billion per year funding to developing countries was made at the 2009 Copenhagen Summit. Okay, public awareness of the climate threat has risen in large part due to social movements, but we can still do more. The rise of non-governmental actors like we're doing now, the rise of the lobbying wing, fossil fuel companies. Did we speak about all of this now? Fossil fuel companies, agribusiness, financial institutions, nuclear companies, and all of that, environmental groups that favor strict restriction on greenhouse emission. What are the opportunities? Tipping points in public opinion, reduced influence of climate change denial. Like I said, there are different opinions on this climate change. Some people do not believe in climate change. They feel it's perpetrated by some men, some people, Remember when they said COVID-19 was Bill Gates' way of reducing population or something? And I wonder how people come to terms with this thing, but it's a conversation for another day. Growth of renewable energies. What are the challenges? No sense of urgency. We are relaxed. Next, centrality of fossil fuels. Inactivism. Some of us will sit all through in our office, working, and we will not get up at all. So we should, incorporate energy movements and all. Fossil fuel lobbies, like we have all these now, local charcoal people and bakeries and all that who use some of these things. Suppression of climate change science, targeting of climate change activists, and then doomsday, multi-sector governance, and then the last one, multi-sector governance. I'm trying to remember. The cost of inaction. So without addressing the climate crisis head-on, we will not achieve the SDGs, especially for the most marginalized and deprived children and their families, if we do not do that. And they are the ones, they are the ones at the brunt of it. These same people. So if we don't address it as far as our sustainable development goals are concerned, the most marginalized and vulnerable will be the first hit. When we talk about floodings, we hear it in these communities. Communities that were once thriving with farming and the likes. What is funding doing there? So we need to prioritize these things. There had forward progress made on realizing children's rights in the UN Convention on the rights of the child will be undermined. We've spoken about the different ways climate change affects children. Because these marginalized people, these vulnerable people we're speaking about, they have children. And funny enough, they have more children than we people that are in the cities. One man who is a farmer has like 8 children.
I have a colleague who's my age that has 39 children.
So if we do not act enough, we'll be reducing the number of children we have. Imagine 800 children dying before local government or community this thing out. Just imagine. 800, that's about 1 million. That's huge. Honestly speaking. So I'm just hoping that from this trainings, we begin to realize the actions we take towards sustainable development, towards combating this encroaching danger or this danger that is engulfing us, and we can get our head out of the water, through it all. Okay? Nobody should have any question. Nobody should have any reflection. All the reflection and question, we did it at the same time. Of the fire.
I want to find out what village is going to be better from when?
Good.
Say again.
He said 12 years. Let's go back to
2018.
From 2019.
From 2019.
So now we have how many years left? Because the target is 2030.
12 years.
Yes.
Okay, 2018.
Yes. From 2018. Yes.
So now we have
Just 6 years. When the lockdown happened in 6 years.
Yeah.
And I know I said we should do something, but let's not just touch our leaders' hearts and give us better leaders, who will take up these things as the real issues and not just see it as one of those things. Thank you, everyone. Let's go for tea break.
You want to continue?
Just to continue.
Continue.
It's best. All right, thank you so much. I know you have your tickets, so we go and then we come back at